Hey, if you're scrolling through YouTube and you're seeing this, you should stop and watch it because I know the title sounds really boring and uninteresting, but what I'm doing is comparing two nearly identical microphones and discussing the subtle tonal differences between them. And I know that appeals to extremely wide audiences, so go ahead and watch the entire video. Greetings, Earthlings, and welcome back to Podcastage. Could you smell the desperation? Because I was laying it on pretty gosh darn thick. Today, I am comparing my favorite $100 dynamic microphone, the SE Electronics V7, which is a vocal microphone, against the $100 SE Electronics V7X, which is the instrument version of that microphone. And we're going to find out what the differences are and see how they sound. But before we get to any tests, let's discuss the build quality differences, if there are any. As you can see, they look nearly identical. They both feel extremely well put together with an all-metal body as well as a very firm metal mesh grill. Both of the grills do have these flat parts, so when you place them down, they don't roll away. And if we look at them side by side, you can tell that the V7X is a little bit shorter and the grill is a little bit more narrow. If we take off the grills, you can see that the capsules look nearly identical. I imagine they are the same base, but they've been modified to be slightly different. And if it matters to you, both of these microphones are going to be made in China. And now let's go ahead and put these microphones on the stand and start doing a bunch of tests. We are going to start with a very brief spoken word blind test. This is microphone 1. I am 3 inches off. My gain will be identical for both microphones, and here is how microphone 1 sounds. And here I am on microphone 2, same distance, same gain setting. I am recording both mics at 24-bit, 48 kilohertz. There you go. And again, here is how microphone 1 sounds. Microphone 1, 3 inches away. My gain is at around 430, and there you go. And I am back on microphone 2 for another quick audio sample. That's all that I've got to say. Let me know in the comments down below whether you like microphone 1 or microphone 2 better, and I will be revealing which microphone is which in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Microphone 1 is the SE Electronics V7X, which means microphone 2 is the SE Electronics V7, or the vocal version of this microphone. Enough with that, let's move to the next portion of the video. First up, we are on the SE Electronics V7X. This is the instrument variation of this microphone. It costs around $100. It has a super cardioid polar pattern, a frequency response of 30 Hz to 19 kHz, a sensitivity of approximately -54 dB, and an impedance of 300 ohms. And secondly, we are on the SE Electronics V7, which is the vocal version of this microphone. It also costs around $100. It also has a super cardioid polar pattern. The difference is this has a frequency response of 40 Hz to 19 kHz, a sensitivity of around -54 dB, and it also has an impedance of 300 ohms. Now I'm spinning around the V7X to 90 degrees so you can hear the off-axis rejection and coloration. Continuing around to 180 degrees, this is the rear of the mic. Continuing around to the second 90-degree angle, there we go. And then rotating and ending at the front of the V7X. And now I'm spinning around the V7 to 90 degrees to show you how this sounds from the side. Continuing around to 180 degrees, this is the rear of the mic. Continuing to the second 90-degree angle, here we go, and then rotating and ending at the front of the vocal version of the microphone. Now I am typing on a keyboard with Gateron blue switches to see how much of my voice versus how much of the keyboard the V7X picks up. And again, we're typing on a keyboard with the same switches to see how much of my voice versus how much of the keyboard the SE V7 picks up. Here is how the V7X sounds right on top of the microphone to exaggerate the proximity effect. And now I'm right on top of the SE V7 to demonstrate the proximity effect on this microphone. Now about 3 inches off of the V7X with it pointed at the corner of my mouth, and here's how it sounds. And here is what the SE V7 sounds like in the exact same position, 3 inches off, pointed at the corner of at the corner of my mouth. 1 foot away from the V7X, 1 foot away from the SE V7, 2 feet away from the V7X, 2 feet away from the SE V7, and about 4 feet away from the SE Electronics V7X, and 4 feet away from the SE Electronics V7. Now I want to compare the handling noise rejection of these two microphones. First up is the V7X. And now for the SE V7. V7X. SE V7. I imagine this is going to get very painful, but now let's test the plosive rejection, and first up is the V7X. Please bring pizza pronto. Please bring pizza pronto. Please bring pizza pronto. And on the V7, please bring pizza pronto. Please bring pizza pronto. Please bring pizza pronto. You may have noticed those gas prices as you're driving down the street, and the shopping bill keeps going up if you wanna eat. But I think we can agree it's totally worth it, because when we all starve and freeze, we won't see those mean tweets. Tweets, 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 tweets. I know somebody's going to get super angry thinking I'm making political statements. No, the words rhymed, and I'm trying to laugh at the absurdity of life so I don't cry about it. So don't read too deeply into stuff. The words rhymed. Conclusion time. Somebody's still going to be super mad. I don't care. Deal with it. And the winner of this Versus series is, drumroll please, the SE Electronics, wait for it, V7. That is right, I am choosing the SE V7 as the winner because I think this microphone is workable for every application that I put it through, while conversely, the SE V7X has a couple of drawbacks that make it, in my opinion, pretty unusable for vocals. But with that being said, what are the differences between the V7 and the V7X? In my opinion, with the V7, which is the vocal version of the microphone, you're getting much better handling noise rejection and shock rejection. You're also getting better wind protection and better plosive rejection. And I believe the majority of those benefits stem from the fact that the low frequency roll-off on the V7 starts around 300 Hertz as opposed to around 100 with the V7X, so they're rolling off a lot of those treble frequencies with the V7. And on the other hand, with the V7X, you are getting that extension into the lower frequencies, which some people will love. It gives you a bit more information, makes it a little bit more balanced sounding, but it does open you up to those treble frequencies, and in the upper frequencies, you're getting more of a broad high shelf, while the V7 does have a boost in the higher frequencies, but there is a scoop around 7 kilohertz here, so again, you're getting more of a balanced and a more neutral sound with the V7X. Now, as far as individual applications, on the electric guitar, I preferred the V7X because I preferred that more balanced sound. I liked having that low frequency information and the more general, broad, high frequency shelf as opposed to the V7. I do think the V7 is very workable. It sounds a bit more finished because it does have that high pass filter built in, but it came across a little bit more mid-forward, which I wasn't too keen on, and in the end, I preferred the V7X's sound over the V7. Then on the acoustic guitar, it is the exact same story. Even though I like the V7, and even though I think the V7 may come across more finished, because it does have that built-in high-pass filter, I did find myself leaning towards the V7X a bit more, because I like that more balanced sound. I like the full body that it offers, and I like that it doesn't sacrifice anything in terms of articulation or detail. Next up for singing, I found myself favoring the V7 over the V7X, and I think that's mainly due to the low frequency roll-off because that clears up the low end, makes sure the vocals aren't muddy, and makes way for that articulation and detail to come through, which for singing is really important, and why I think the V7 is such a good singing microphone. And finally, for spoken word, I have to pick the V7 because although I like how the V7X sounds on my voice, the plosive rejection just won't cut it for spoken word, and if you're someone who uses your microphone at your desk, the complete lack of shock rejection in the V7X just won't make it ideal, and that's why I'm picking the V7 as my spoken word pick. Alright, that is all that I've got for you today, but like always, I would love to hear from you in the comments down below. Do you agree with my assessment and conclusion, and which of these microphones was your favorite? If you found this video fun, interesting, or helpful, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Hated it, big ol' thumbs down. Want more videos, subscribe. Want to talk mics? Go to podcastage.com/discord, hang out in the Discord, and if you want to be one of these amazing people over here, you can do so by clicking that join button or going to patreon.com/podcastage and joining at the $5 tier or higher. It really does help me continue to bring you these videos. So until next time, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Boop. I didn't have any fuel in my Zippo, which made the fire extinguisher pretty much useless.